What? It's oh, look at this. This is what I was telling you about, guys. Might be the one. No, it's different. But anyways, actually, see. So this is it. No, I think that's a different. Oh yeah, I remember this place as well. So this is like a coffee shop, drinking there, or catching up on some important world issues. Probably nothing special. Um, the audio is not working. Uh, that's on. Give me a sec. Let's see if this is going. Tanya, is how is the audio? Is it working for you? Mine's okay. Yours is okay. Okay, Sabine, can you try restarting? So if you go out and then go back in. Raya, hello. Je vais avoir le mal de mer. Oh, seasickness, le mal de mer. Okay, I love your word. Is it quite shaky, the video? Oh, I'm walking pretty fast, but once we are at the destination, it's gonna be a little bit better. Look at this funny building here. It's, I think they tried to sort of create mainstream lane. They have like the streets here have interesting names as well in the city of London, but it's all very old ones. Oh, that's a nice view. Give me a sec. Let's take that. I'm gonna have a picture like that already at some point, but let's see it again. Oh yeah, it's similar to this one. There's a couple of streets, and then in between them we have the shark. Laughing it. Right, we are nearly close to the tower itself. I'm happy to. Might take us a little bit of time to figure out how we get this inside, but I think it should be like a matter of 5 minutes. Hopefully, there's not a huge queue. Brewdog, craft beer. I just think this is like one of the London craft breweries. It used to be, and then they got bought out. I think they're independent back again now, but we see them quite a bit around London. This is quite big as well. Huge brewery. Thank you, Fatima. Thank you. Oh, look at this. I think that, did I tell you about this pub? It's called the Han, Drong and Quartered. The pub here on the corner. Let's see. I'll try to show it to you. It's across the traffic lights again. So the title of this pub is, well, the name of this pub is Han, Drong and Quartered, and it refers to. Somebody tell me in the comments what you reckon it refers to. Han, Drawn and Quartered. That's right, Tanya. Tanya's smashing it. I thought that was technically cheating. As a British person, it's already this one. Yeah, it refers to the execution. It would be first hung, then drawn, and then quartered by the forces in four different directions. William Wallace was okay. No, William Wallace was he was the Scottish defenders partner. Richard, hello. Okay. Oh, look at this. What is this? The Maltese Archipelago. theater of operations, the siege. Oh, this is from the governor of Malta. To honor her great people, I award the George Cross to the island fortress of Malta to bear witness to a heroism and devotion that will long be famous in history. Recitation from King George VI to the governor of Malta. Okay, so they was presented to the governor of Malta. And so it's from King George and Franklin Delano Roosevelt. So you guys, okay, let me read out it. Italy, in June 1940, Italy declares war on Britain. Malta is now only 100 miles from Axis airfields, Axis being Germany, Italy, etc. Defenses are 3 obsolete fighters and a few guns. July 1940, the first convoys arrive. Air raids total 80 already. August 1940, more fighters and better guns arrive. Civilian population evacuated from target areas. Who's been to Malta? September 1942, more convoys arrive with troops and equipment. Malta is to become an Allied fortress in the Mediterranean. October 1940, that was a very quick succession of events. Huh? More fighters and additional airfields commissioned. November 1940, torpedo bombers attacked the Italian fleet at Taranto with devastating effect. A strategy later copied by the Japanese at Pearl Harbor. Oh, look at that, Pearl Harbor connection. December 1940, the Italian army is defeated in North Africa, forcing the Germans to send massive reinforcements. Striking forces from Malta caused so much damage to Axis supply lines, the Axis High Command decides to annihilate the island. Oh wow. The Luftwaffe moves to Sicily and begin round-the-clock attacks on Malta. January 1941, Axis bombers attack and damage the British carrier Illustrious in a convoy to Malta. The ship arrived at Malta for emergency repairs and is subjected to 3 days of ceaseless bombing before leaving to the USA. Oh. 39 Axis planes are lost in the Blitz for only 2 Allied fighters. February 1941, the attacks continue. The civilian population are moved into rock shelters underground. Air raids now total 400. March 1941, 4 ships arrive in convoy with essential food, ammunition, and fuel. They are bombed successively on their approach and in harbor. April 1941, the carrier Ark Royal delivers another consignment of new Hurricane fighters. May 1941, Malta's fighter defenses are strengthened and Hurricane fighter reorganized. A bombing squadron is added to attack Axis supplies to North Africa. June 1941, Axis forces invade and occupy Crete with airborne troops. A similar plan is proposed for Malta. July 1941, 16 Italian torpedo boats attack a newly arrived convoy in Grand Harbor. All are destroyed by the defenses. August 1941, the siege is weakened more strongly, food is severely rationed. The air attacks continue incessantly. September 1941, 8 ships reach Malta in convoy with vital food, fuel and stores. Malta striking forces are now destroying half of all Axis supply fields at Central North Africa. October 1941, footage is desperately short. 3 British submarines shuttle in supplies underwater. Oh well. To avoid the air attacks. Rationing is made more severe. November 1941, Malta striking forces are reinforced and increase Axis losses to convoys to North Africa. Axis air forces increase their attempts to subdue Malta. December 1941, air raids increased to 175 in this month alone. The entire civilian population is now conscripted into the defense of the island. Everyone lives underground in rock shelters. The memorial is quarried from that very same rock. January 1942, the Axis determination to eradicate Malta continues with no demarcation between months. Some bombing raids last up to 36 hours. During this month, there are 263 of them. Food, fuel, and ammunition run dangerously low. February 1942, an Allied convoy from Alexandria is attacked and destroyed on its way to Malta. The supply situation becomes even more critical. What food there is now contaminated with the taste of high explosive. interesting history of, I didn't realize there was like so much happening during the Second World War in Malta. Please, hello, Tatiana, hi. Okay, let me read out the rest of it. I want to get to the end of it. March 1942, with great determination, fresh deliveries of Spitfire fighters made by aircraft carriers. 3 ships arrived with 5,000 tons of supplies, which are discharged under ceaseless bombing. 177 Axis aircraft are destroyed. April 1942, raids are now between 4 and 10 per day in waves of 100 or more aircraft. By now, 15,500 buildings have been obliterated, but civilian casualties unmercifully light at 1,104 thanks to the shelters hewn into the living rock of Malta. Air raids now total 5,807, accounting for more than 6 million? Yeah, oh my god. 6,557,231 kilos of high explosive bombs. Food is shared between the entire population via communal victory kitchens. Ammunition is in very short supply. As the raids pass the 2,000 mark, King George VI awards the entire island population of Malta the George Cross in recognition of their gallantry in the defense of their island fortress. With fighters now depleted to dangerous levels, reinforcements are desperately needed. As April becomes May, the USA comes to Malta's aid. USS Wasp successfully delivers 2 cargoes of Spitfires and their pilots. May 1942, General Lord Gort replaces Sir William Dobbie as governor and commander-in-chief. He brings in his hands the George Cross Medal and citation from the King. June 1942, new fighters take immediate effect in improving the defenses, but food and supplies continue to deteriorate. Single ship deliveries by fast warship and submarines cannot keep up. In North Africa, the Axis retake most of the coast of Libya, and fears of an airborne invasion become acute. July 1942, the Axis, encouraged by the advance in North Africa and the success of their air raids from Malta, opt to press on to Egypt. Invasion fears recede, fuel and ammunition stocks are critical, food stocks weak from starvation. August 1942, with no alternative, Britain recalls all available warships to fight a convoy through to Malta. 14 of the fastest merchant vessels are committed to Operation Pedestal. They are escorted by the heaviest concentration of warships in the war so far. For 5 days, the convoy is continuously attacked. The attrition is horrific, but finally, the 4 surviving merchantmen are delivered to Malta. The new American-built tanker, Ohio, decks awash, engines wrecked, bombed, torpedoed, a crashed Texas plane burning on her deck is, by a miracle, brought into Grand Harbor on the 15th of the month. The Feast of Santa Maria, all of her... The Feast of Santa Maria, all of her 11,000 tons of fuel are intact. Oh, hold on. The 15th of the month is the Feast of Santa Maria. Okay, gotcha. All of her 11,000 tons of fuel are intact. The entire population watched as the salvation is nursed home by 2 small destroyers. The tide of the siege and history was turning, and in September 1942, Malta striking forces again press home their interdiction of Axis convoys. Air defense goes on the attack, seeking raiders before they reach Malta skies. October 1942, in a 4-day onslaught, the Axis lose 114 aircraft to 25 Spitfires. That's a good, what do you call it? Pretty good reckoning, like 4-1. Axis losses now total 1,252, with another 1,151 unconfirmed. Civilian population has lost 1,600 killed and 1,818 grievously wounded. November 1942, Axis forces retreat in North Africa. Allied landings take place leading to their eventual rout. A convoy arrives unmolested. The siege is finally over. And December 1942, Malta becomes a forward base for the first steps in the liberation of Europe. Allied and Commonwealth troops begin to build up in Malta with supplies arriving unhindered. On the 10th of July 1943, the invasion of Europe begins in Sicily. Okay, interesting. So this is a bit of a map for you. Italy, Rome, Naples, Sicily, Malta. It's Malta. And then we got Tripoli, Tunis, French, no, it's not okay. Tangier, Gibraltar. Okay, and this is the map of Malta itself. So this is the Grand Harbour, Valletta, and there must be like the largest city there. I don't know what these are. There's like three also related to Malta. Oh, the Maltese archipelago. Okay, so it's three different islands there. Look at that. Gozo, Camino, and Malta itself. Okay. Lena, hello, thank you. Okay, let's keep walking. The Tower of London is just there, guys. Oh, cheers, guys. Thank you. Look at this. All Hallows by the Tower, founded in 675 AD. The oldest church in the city. Regular service. Oh, welcome. Shall we go inside? Just. No. I'll be very quiet. Hello. Thank you, and cheers. Welcome to Sasha and Angels. Let's keep walking. I didn't want it's always unclear in these places whether you can speak or not. Oh, no, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's just different. Hello, L. Thank you. SEK. Righto. Tower Waltz. Theater tickets. Realize there was a theater tour. Conference and shops. Oh, okay, maybe like to some other things here. By the way, guys, should I send you the link to a Wikipedia article? Are you gonna find it yourselves? There's a lot of interesting information there about the history of the Tower of London. Yeah, my God, look at this. Let's see if we can get through without. Oh, I lost some. I don't think I need to exchange it for a ticket. Oh my God, that guy looked like what's the younger prince? Harry? Yeah, almost like almost as ginger as he is. So, city of London over there. Doesn't look too crowded actually. Still quite a few people here. What is the name of the building which looks like a castle? I mean, that one over there, that's the Tower of London. That's probably going to. Come on, hello, hello, how are you? Oh, cheers. Rain down. It doesn't, hopefully not. It's not supposed to rain today. It did rain yesterday because Gloria was asking me, saying, "Oh, you should have come out to bath," and then I told her no, it was gonna rain. So yeah, I did the right thing by not going out yesterday. Poison, какая писала. Интернет. Poison. Не совсем понимаешь, что такое поздний интернет? Your love, hello. Legends. Oh, see, thank you for the flame heart. Sure. Can you hear me okay? It's, oh, you miss it. Oh, cool. Hold on. But you were at the live just like a few days ago, right? Good luck. Thank you for the likes. Okay. They have 5 ticket booths. That's pretty good. Not filming you. Don't worry. Oh, we even get a small map. Look at this. Okay. Ah, cool. Cheers, Philip. By the way, guys, I created. I think I'll make it on time. Back on time to my place. Around probably 3. I don't know. We'll see how today goes. But I should be back. I've created a live for 4 p.m. from 4 till 6. So yeah, I'll probably see you then. We're gonna sing live. One second. Let's put this map away. Structures here, as you can see. Let me take. So yeah, this so the tower used to be surrounded by a moat, which at some point, actually, I think initially, if you read the description, it says that they had trouble with filling it with the water, but at some point they did actually succeed. And it was constructed somewhere in. Okay. Thank you. So many checks along the way. frozen. Okay. Oh, they're taking me back. Give me a second. I might need to pause you guys for a little bit. Soldiers could prepare to defend the country in times of peril. Today, the mold is filled with wildflowers as we begin to transform it into a more biodiverse space that will offer a symbol of resilience against a new threat, climate change. Take a picture and send it to you. So yeah, if you read the history of the Tower of London, also, for those of you who are French, there's a big French, or I should say Norman connection, because it was erected by Normans shortly after the Hastings, where they defeated the Saxons, and the tower was used as a means of controlling and oppressing the population from revolting, and yeah. And it was used, kind of had a bit of a mixed use. It was used as a palace grounds, but also as a royal mint until, I want to say, 19th century or so, when the mint moved to somewhere else, and has hosted a few famous, well, was used by the kings to protect themselves from some of the revolts, or revolting, including peasant revolts as well as revolts by the parents and nobility. And it also housed some prisoners. I think even a French prince or king. Oh, French king was imprisoned here at some point as well. As well as the local royalty, English royalty, and then the Scottish Queen was also executed here. So there were a few executions. Although according to Wikipedia, it actually says that there were only 7 actual executions on the grounds of the castle, of the Tower of London itself. The rest kind of happened around the Tower Hill area, so like around this area, but not necessarily on the grounds. Probably a little bit high, yeah. Because that was the whole point. I mean, there was water, and I think there was also another set of walls as well that were actually protecting the moat itself. And but yeah, initially when they first constructed the moat, one of the kings, they actually had apparently trouble filling it with water from the terrace. Pushing out. Okay. I haven't actually like an okay signal. There's a lot of people here. What's gonna happen? I wonder if this is where the two will start. Let me ask the guys.
Way back in the year 1066, with a man by the name of William the... No! Right into my track of Normandy, or William the Buff. He much preferred William the Duke of London. Take too kindly to being told what... Take too kindly to being told what... For many things. Three, probably what we're most famous for. We were a royal menagerie, or a zoo, where all the exotic animals and beasts given to our kings and queens, they were kept here. We had lions, we had tigers, we had crocodiles, the bears. Probably the most unusual animal we had in the 1250s was an elephant. Now in the 1250s, our first ever prisoner to escape. I actually mean it was our first ever prisoner and he escaped. No coming back from that poor tracker. But what we're much better at is execution. Now again, you may be surprised to find out that on the grand scheme of things, very few people have ever been executed inside the royal palace, and that's to have the right, the privilege and the honour to be executed inside a royal palace. You have to be incredibly high status. That queen level should do it. And I'll be talking about those three traitors in a minute. That controversy. Well, they were. They were found guilty in a court of law on charges. Some adultery, some incest, some witchcraft. And the last person ever, Simon Fraser, the Lord Lovett, an 80-year-old Scottish nobleman for his part in the second failed Jacobite rebellion in 1747. He was executed up there by means of the block and the axe. Now, let's dwell on that for a moment, shall we? So then, why? I've already been informed that some of you gave up your right. Georgia, famous for your peaches. Unfortunately not, madam. South Carolina's just taken the title of the sweetest peaches. Tennessee. Georgia. Wisconsin. Virginia. Right, right. Do an American. I'll call you again, madam. Chicago. So please don't go home now and complain. Well, he didn't mention where I'm from because I haven't got time because I was talking. Would that be a part of our soldier's mind? Hi. Hi. Take it through the spike. Hi. Take it through the streets of London. Where will we discuss? Through the Byron Tower. Now the Byron Tower gets its name by the word or by the wall because it's here. Through my joke again, madam, I'll throw you out. No, I'm not telling you because it's a secret. It is password one lowercase. Don't tell anyone. Right, we're going to move on very soon. Before we do we have any questions? No good, let's go.
The patchy coverage, because essentially that's how cellular works. The reason why it's called cellular is because everyone is assigned a cell in the network. You could kind of see that if you're here, these guys and obviously are okay with English, Hey, Girolamo, thank you. Then these guys can be quite entertaining. Even the descriptions in French, Spanish, Polish, Russian, Portuguese, Italian, Chinese, and Japanese. I'm going to take a picture and send it to you on the Discord. King or queen. Today, Yemen waters or beefeaters. You can also, there's a, in the UK, which features this, has a picture of one of the men in this traditional clothing, beefeater clothing, have all served at least 22 years in the armed forces and have been awarded the Long Service and Good Conduct Medal. This group of 37 men and women live here with their families, so they live on the grounds of the castle. Okay, and I think this should be changing, right? Because do you guys know what this ER stand for? It's not emergency response, it's something else. So those of you who do not know, Tanya knows the answer probably. The ER with the two in the middle stands for Elizabeth Regina. Yeah, and the two is the second, Elizabeta Королева II. We're gonna test out the strengths of the. I think might be. It could be just really bad network here. Okay, is it better here? Let me just. I think it's a tiny bit better here in this particular spot. Gonna read all. The crown jewels were displayed there from 18. Let's keep walking. It's been a few years since I last came to this place. Quite a different feeling around here back in the day. Oh my god. Still can't believe how bad the internet is here in the center of London. It's quite impressive. Either way. This must be let's see. Manchester one. No? Okay. Let's see. I'm trying a few options here. Um, let's see if it works or not. I'm just trying to install. Yay, this might have worked, guys. Okay. How's the connection now? And looks like it's a little bit better, is it? Okay. Let's hope. Let's see how it goes. Arts was raised on 26th of February 1915 by order of King George V in order to complete the national complement of regiments of foot guards from the countries of the United Kingdom. Tours to Bosnia, Kosovo, Northern Ireland, Iraq, and Afghanistan, interspersed with firefighting and public duties, demonstrate the busy nature of modern infantry. The first battalion is based in London and Peterborough. The sentries are part of the military guard stationed at the Tower Road in most countries where Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II is head of state. The third ceremony of the war starts here at 14:50 every afternoon. Look at this, guys. Okay, this may have worked. Oh well, famous last word. Raven sharply out. Okay, White Tower. Let's keep walking. Sorry guys, this is like such a painful experience probably. Most of you. £24-pounder cannon, weighing 5¾ tons, 5,842, around 1800. Look again, another Morse connection here. It transferred from the Royal Arsenal village to the town in 1827 on the orders of the Duke of Wellington, Master General of the Ordnance. Its decoration includes the arms of Malta and scenes from the island's history. The gun breech rests on an iron quoin formed as a Maltese dog. The gun and carriage were conserved at Royal Armouries, Fort Nelson in 2003-2004. Probably Flemish, dated 1607. The carriage is British, 1827. Okay, and belongs to Royal Armouries. This is, what was it? Brands of Cupid's wines at Saint Michel, Saint Michael, overthrown in symptoms. So this is the, that's good. Okay. That's wrong. King Richard I built the Wardrobe Tower in 1883. The SC, welcome back. Looks a little bit better, right? It's stable. Okay. The Romans established a town called Londinium here after they invaded Britain in AD 43. It became an important settlement, and by AD 225, the lines in the ground trace the Roman wall. William the Conqueror chose this strategic site for the Tower of London 800 years later. The old Roman walls were used to defend his new castle. So he basically used part of the old Roman wall to build the tower. Daphne, thank you. Okay, looks like we are we have somewhat better connection, at least. Let's see, I'm gonna try to go up there. Not sure it's gonna work in terms of the internet connection, but we can try. And the Royal Armouries. Discover 500 years of armor, royal treasures, and impressive weaponry. Explore the history of the kingdom's most powerful institutions and the Tower of London's most important building. Okay, and the entrance floor we have the line of kings, displayed with ancient roots. Admire the armor of the Tudor and Stuart kings and the unique wooden horses created to carry them. On the first floor, treasure of the Royal Armouries. Explore the treasure trove of unusual objects, royal gifts, and collector's trophies. Second floor, discover more about 204 steps to get up in total. Let's take a picture here. White Tower was built circa 1080, so this was the first tower. So this probably tells the tale of the two princes that were imprisoned here, and potentially murdered. The skeletons of two children were discovered near this spot in 1674. They were believed to be the missing sons of King Edward IV. After Edward died in 1483, his two sons were brought to the tower. The older prince was going to be crowned king, but his uncle took over and was crowned instead as King Richard III. The princes were never seen again. Hey Sunshine, how are you? Swally, hello. Okay, let's see. See how it holds up inside. Okay, after his victory at the Battle of Hastings in 1066, William the Conqueror founded the Tower of London and 10 years later began to build the White Tower to show the might of the new Norman monarchy. In the late 14th century, arms, armor, and military equipment began to be stored here. 200 years later, these stores became part of a display shown to visitors. This is a painting of what it looked like, or may have looked like back in the day. The White Tower became a museum in 1916, and today it houses highlights from the Royal Armouries collection in this historic setting, the newly restored monarchy. The line of kings has changed many times over the centuries, but has always entertained and impressed its visitors. This 21st century interpretation shows what these displays were like, and includes their most impressive objects. Yeah, visitors. Right outside. I see Jimmy. Oh, it's a French empress there. Visited in 1854. William Hutton, bookseller and historian from Birmingham. Ibrahim Pasha, slave and poet. What's this? That's right. Of Berlin. It was displayed in the new horse armory as illustrated. King James I, or the second, sorry. Of the field was made for the Paduan nobleman Count Annibal Capitalista, 1598 to 1672. That's his line. Photographs show this armor displayed on foot in an alcove opposite the line of kings in the 19th century. The armor was regarded as a fake by late 19th century, but its reputation was re-established in the early 20th century. Okay, this is Maximilian armor. This complete field armor was one of the two sides of the armor of Henry VII. These armors are known as Maximilian after the style of their decoration, with its clothes set fluffy of Sir Horace Vere, the Captain General in the line from 1830 as illustrated. The armor is a rare example of a field armor made in the royal workshops at Greenwich in the 17th century, and it was probably brought to the Tower from Greenwich in 1644. Okay, this is the color of torment. The Tower inventory of 1547 lists a steel collar for a prisoner. The 1660 inventory records Spanish collar for torture taken in 1588. Early Tower guidebooks preferred a more domestic use put around the necks of scolding or wayward wives. Yeah, it would have been super uncomfortable to wear it. It probably made sense back in the day because because it kind of protected you in some of the battles. You know? This is actually almost like a child's costume. Very intricate symbolic. Yeah. Well, they had the pages as well, or what do you call them? Okay, this one says many royal figures have featured in the line of kings, but queens have always been absent. There were simply no female armors in the Tower arsenal because England's queens have never worn armor. Once, however, a woman almost joined the line of kings. In 1789, when Britain and Spain were at war, it was proposed that a figure of Queen Elizabeth I should be exhibited at the Tower. The figure was made but displayed not with the line of kings, but in the Spanish armory, to recall England's defeat of the Spanish Armada. Today, only Elizabeth's carved and painted wooden head survives. And also, the Tower of London actually acted as a museum back from like 19th century. It was already open for tourists, which I didn't realize. So we're going to this second floor, no, ground floor, first floor. So we're going up to the first floor now. Look at this hall. Quite fascinating, although I reckon a lot of this is like new pieces or have been restored. But the beams of wood are pretty impressive. This is some probably not that well. And old, not obviously not original glass, but quite old still, nevertheless. So those are the main stairs. These are the main stairs inside the White Tower rising from the basement to the roof. Originally, they were the only means of reaching the important rooms on this floor. The stairs are located in an imposing circular turret, which, for security and ceremonial reasons, was positioned as far away from the tower's main entrance as possible. Originally, they would probably have been some form of partition in front of the doorway to restrict entry to the great chamber and screen those in the room. This is what it looks like. Okay, Norman garderobe. The original Norman toilet garderobe served as a great chamber and was one of 6 in the White Tower. On this floor there were 2 more either side of the cross wall nearby and another of the stairs in the northwest turret. There were 2 more on the floor below in the entrance chamber's north wall. The rest fell into the ground pits or dead domes, probably because of this. Guardrobes were all on the north and northeast sides of the building, away from the front elevation visible from the river. An order was issued in the early 14th century for the construction of a stone wall to hide the filth dropping from the White Tower's toilets. The building was clearly in heavy use at this time. You guys want to have a quick look? Let's see. Right, hey, how are you? Yeah, we're in Tower of London. Okay, 14th century toilet, guys. Well, probably used even after that, but mostly used. Back then. Oh, look at this fireplace. That's pretty cool. Huge. This is one of the earliest known wall fireplaces in England and was one of the 4 in the White Tower. Early Norman fireplaces predated the introduction of chimney stacks, so the smoke was allowed to escape through 2 holes in the side of the building through a flue built into the kitchens of the wall, or into the thickness of the wall. This type of fireplace was a great improvement on earlier designs where a fire burned in the center of the room, but without a flue to remove the smoke. The smoke would fill the room and eventually escape through the holes in the floor and the roof. This fireplace was altered to its present form in the 19th century, but originally there was a projecting hood to trap the smoke. This too was an early Norman innovation, allowing the hearse the hearse to be brought further into the room in order to give out more heat. Pizza maker's fireplace. Oh, look at this. Some historical books, guidebooks. Okay, number one, this book here is Historical Description of the Tower of London and its Curiosities, printed for J. Newbery in 1757. This early guidebook, now rebound, aimed to direct the attention of spectators to what is most curious in this repository, and to enable them afterwards to relate what they have seen. Number two, this might be the one. The Tower is History, Armories, and Antiquities by John Hewitt, 1854. Hewitt's is the first official guidebook, and its most scholarly approach reflects the growing interest in the real stories behind the objects in display. Number three is Authorized Guide to the Tower of London by W.J. Lofty, 1888. Lofty's guide showed the mass appeal of the tower, with both a popular, inexpensive 30-page version and far more discerning visitors. For more discerning visitors, this 152-page edition with illustrations. Number four is this one here. Tower of London, Gale and Polden, 1903. Picture guides proved increasingly popular, here with accompanying notes by Viscount Dillon, the curator of the armories. And this is the most recent edition, 2010. Chamber. Okay, it says this tells the story of this room. This room was originally one of the White Tower's most important chambers. The king would have spent time in here when he was at the tower. Otherwise, his officials who ran the tower for him would have used it. It was secure next to the large hall and equipped with a fireplace and toilets. Its windows were originally much smaller. Can't see this in the screen, can you? It's like too bright, I reckon. Okay, the White Tower as an icon. The White Tower of London, and the White Tower in particular, has become one of Britain's most recognizable landmarks. Its image has long been used as a symbol of the state and later as an iconic view on tourist souvenirs. The earlier identified illustration of the tower dates from the late 13th century. In a powerful symbol of state, the White Tower's image has been used on objects including uniforms and ceremonial regalia to represent individuals' associations with this important site. The White Tower can also be seen decorated in many early and modern souvenirs, from guidebooks to commemorative pottery. This diverse range of objects shows just how deeply the White Tower's image is embedded in the nation's consciousness. Hey, Flying Pig. So this is Tower as an icon. And you can kind of see that it's appearing on these coins and whatnot. Supreme. Oh yeah, there is the tower, as you can see. Okay, this is Tower Hamlet's rifle, volunteers, and militia accessories. Let's continue. St. John's Chapel. Part of the Great Wardrobe. This was a department that equipped the monarch with everything they needed, from crowns and clothing to arms and armor for their guards and fighting men. Later, under the administration of the Ordnance Office, it stored and issued Britain's fighting equipment worldwide until 1855. From the 1650s to the present day, the Tower armories stored material for the Tower's public display. The Arsenal. So let's see some of the old ones. Oh, look at this book. Oh my god. What is this? Number 5. Ledger of receipts, returns, and issues. Oh, this side of it. Yeah, bookkeeping book. Some shields. Yeah, looks like shields. Quite peculiar. Oh my god, look at the size of this one. What is the number? These have a number on it.
So sorry. No, my fault.
Oh, it's number 9. Okay. Let's look up number 9. Number 9 is a parade lance. This lance was probably preserved because of its unusually large size. Okay. Its hollow construction keeps its weight to 9.5 kilos, 20 pounds, despite its length of 4.36 meters or 172 inches. It was probably intended for parade before the joust rather than using it. Since the late 16th century, it has been linked with Charles Brandon, Duke of Suffolk, Henry's friend, brother-in-law, and jousting companion. Oh, this is it. What's this armor? King George. This guy almost looks like he was a cousin of a Russian emperor who also got executed after the revolution. See you, sunshine. Apple, hello, man. Okay, Let's look at this one. Diplomatic gifts. Oh my god, this one is made of ivory. Saddle. Okay. Oh no, wooden saddle. This wooden saddle is thought to be a gift from Sigismund, King of Hungary, to Henry V in 1416, celebrating his membership of the Hungarian Order of the Dragon. Pledged to fight the enemies of Christendom, especially the Ottoman Turks, the order flourished between 1408 and 1437. It is inset with bone plates and decorated with dragons and foliage. The German inscriptions wish good fortune and invoke St. George. Oh, look, that's Japanese. No, so this is made of wood, but then on top of it there's like, yeah, bone and ivory. For you guys. This one is, let's have a look without. Tokugawa Hidetada of Japan presented this armor to King James I of England in 1613. It was part of a gift to mark the first ever trade agreement between Britain and Japan. We think the armor might originally have belonged to the powerful Lord Takeda Katsuyori, defeated commander at the Battle of Nagashino in 1575. Part of the decoration includes a Kamon, heraldic device associated with Takeda family. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Look at the, it's like liquid, no? The details. This is from India. Okay, so the number one on the display is dagger, Tatar. By gripping the pair of crossbars, this uniquely Indian form of dagger becomes an extension of user's arm, and ideal for thrusting attacks. The blade is decorated with Hindu religious scenes. On one side, the god Krishna playing a flute, on the other, the god Vishnu. In the helmet, highly decorated armor continued to be made for ceremonial wear in India long after firearms made it redundant on the battlefield. The male aventail of this helmet, formed from butter iron and brass links in a decorative pattern, is of no practical defensive use. The nasal guard is also insubstantial. This is a roll travel. Wonderful handiwork, yeah, that's right. Oh, what is this? Oh my god, diamond encrusted. Or whatever. Or whatever. Number 4. Look at this one. Oh my god, what is this? Hold on, number 13. Number 13 is gold-plated encased submachine gun. It was common in the past for highly decorated examples of firearms to be presented as gifts to prospective purchasers of large orders. This salesman's sample of a Sterling Mk4 submachine gun has some gory stuff from the executions.
He walks out of that green door for half a day a week and works inside that chap. When he retires next year, I'm applying for that job. I know nothing about religion, but I'm going to wing it so I can live in that. And we're going to beat them at the rugby as well. Fantastic. Now listen, you'll see today there's absolutely no queue for the ground jewels. Normally we have an hour and a half queue for that. But fantastic time to 20,000. Listen, every day people say to me, Spike, are they the real crown jewels? Listen, you wouldn't go to all this trouble for 2 thick walls, a moat, 35 people, 12 armed soldiers, and then King Charles keeps them in his spot door. The real deal, and you'll see the way it builds up. You know the jewels that we use in the coronation.
Gonna leave the tower and we're gonna be starting my way to get back home, but we might drop into a couple of places on the way. Give me a second. I'm gonna take a couple of videos as I speak.
This is the longest continuously used card room in the world. First used in 1279.
Some private tours here. Oh, there's no exit. Oh, that way. Oh. Okay, cool. Yeah. That way. Okay, cool. Thank you. Wrong way. Okay, we're gonna take it over. Oh, this is the chief of Yemen water. I was actually quiet because there was a huge queue to get inside in the and let's see. Might do a couple of things as I'm walking. Hopefully the connection improves. I'm almost half worse than it is on the grounds of Tower of London. But who knows? Gonna go up here. Uh, is it 1.5 hours that is left? Yeah, I'll try to make it on time. Let you know, there might be a slight delay, but we'll try to do it on time. I'll just do a sentence. Yeah, I was just saying that I'm gonna try to be back home on time. So, what do you guys reckon? I think that could be. Let's hope this holds up. It's it was probably the connection was probably down for what good like 70% of the time we didn't have a good connection. Good line. And the city of London over there with all the high rises. Still relatively not as many tourists as you get in probably in most of the days during the summer. You can only smile. See you, Tanya. Thank you. Sorry for all the connection problems. Well, did our best. I reckon in Sydney, I haven't had this bad of a problem as I'm having right now in London. Could be one of those days. Could be also the fact that I'm moving and walking. But what was I going to say? So yeah, you can see it's kind of hopping in between. Uh, where I'm going to jump on a subway. Tube, that is. And I'll see some of you in my music live. Yeah, I might be. Oh, yeah. Well, fine. I'll do a music live a little bit later. Well, in 1 hour. Let's see. Hope you're enjoying this view of the shark building. So, Colleen, hello. I was trying to run a what do you call it? An excursion. Oh, look at this. It's too overexposed. The picture. Um, oh, there you go. I can see. This might make a nice photo as well. Yeah, so, cool. Some offices around this area as well. So it's very red. Yeah, so it'll be 5 p.m. your time in France. Oh, look at this tree. Oh my God, it's like so leafless. Almost makes you think about the autumn already. Right, we're here. Yeah, take the breakfast for themselves. How old is that? Come on, a pair of scrambled eggs, surely she can pull it off. Oh, oh my God. Hey, Nat. I know, I'm 21. What for breakfast? Effie, I'm gonna ask you for breakfast. Well, hold on. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Give me some a kick of energy, hopefully. Hi there. Can I get a double macchiato, please? Oh, two. Oh, one for Nigel though. Coffee time. Yeah, sunshine. Oh, sunshine is still around. Sorry for all the connection issues. Oh. So what's the deal? Actually, are you are you having to go and make the breakfast then?